a rusty underpass and a railroad yard. That's coming up next. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 17 of my series of Building a New Model Railroad. My name is Peter and this is BNSF Chicago sub in N-scale. So in this episode I'm following on with the progress of the build of my underpass and also of the module behind me, which is the eastern end of the Western Avenue yard. So let's get on with that update. So since my last update on the underpass kit, I've done some painting and weathering on this. Now, as you can see here, it is looking a lot better. I model this to be heavily rusted on the outside, and if you look at some of the inside bits, it's various stages of rust all the way through it. And if you look from this angle there, it's really effective. In fact, let's see if I can come really close. It's really effective if you look down there, just the various stages of rust. Obviously it's going to be more rusty towards the entrance of the underpass rather than in the middle. You'll get some rust from leaks from the ground above, but overall it'll be more rusty on the outside. Now what I've done with this, I've used, if I just find where they are here, I've used some Vallejo paints and I've used the old rust, and let's get the others here, a medium rust, and also their white as well, just mixing in to get various shades. Now the great thing about their medium rust is, if you see here, you can see it's got that lovely orange color of fairly new rust. But if you look at the top of it, if we'll get it to focus, you can see here it's yellow at the top. So what this paint actually does, because it's got this pigment in it, if you shake it up, it goes all orange, but when you put it on and the more you brush it, the more yellow it goes, and you get this really nice effect of old and new rust. And see if I can try give you a view of this here. Now you can see here, so you can see the orange and the yellow, and that comes out really nicely. And that's just basically just putting this paint on and just rubbing it where you want it to be a bit lighter, and it actually turns yellow. So basically it's really easy to apply rust. So I'm really happy with the way this has turned out. It's just made it so easy to add rust effects. I've also done the sidewalks as well. You can see I've weathered them a bit so they have the concrete color, and then I've used a sort of grey concrete for the road itself. I might darken that a bit actually. It might be a bit too light. Just experimenting with various shades. But I'm really happy with the way this is coming on. So the next stage is to add graffiti to the side walls and add in the LEDs, and then I can glue everything in place and start on the small details, so like the rubbish and the trash cans and stuff like that. So that's my progress so far on this. So if I'll just show you what it's going to look like in position. So I'm going to slide it into place. So there we go, that is what it's going to look like from eye level. And if I just move the light, give you an idea what it's going to look like when it's lit up from inside. So there we go, it's going to have that sort of effect, and it's going to have LEDs on the inside, and it's going to have a backdrop at the back. So it's going to look really effective and a great scene. And as I said, I might do more than one of them. I've got space to do another one further along, so I will see if I maybe add that in. So let me show you how far I've got with the first board on the first level. So this is the east end of the Western Avenue yard, where it comes out from the helix. So the helix comes in over here, and let me show you how far I've got. So all the turnouts are laid, and you can see all the way across to this end over here. Now the first, let me just take it back to here again. So coming in from the yard, you've got the metro line at the back and the freight in the front, and when it goes round to this side here, you've now got two mains over here, which then divide up and become four mains on this side over here. So the two on the far right will go towards the Metro station, to the Western Avenue station. So from the front two mains, so the freight main, there's a turnout that goes off into the yard into an arrival departure track, which I've shown you on the track plan in the previous video. Now this track over here in the right in front, I'll show you there. So that comes off the freight main, that is the switch lead. So that comes along over here and then we'll go on, and then the yard will then go from there, that side, and that's the start of the yard, of the main yard itself, and that there is the arrival departure track. So that's how far I've got at the moment. And just to show you where everything's fitting in, so just about over here is going to be where my one underpass is going to be, and then I might be having space to put another underpass further back there. So what I've just got to make sure is that I've got no obstructions underneath, so that's why I might either put the underpass over there or I might even put it over here. I'll just have to see how the road layout works. So this is all going to be a residential industrial area. On the prototype, this is all housing and small little industrial units and some open spaces as well. So it works out really well in my track plan. It actually works out nicely to have this and then the main yard further on. So it's just going to be a nice little scene with roads and vacant lots and then housing. So that's going to be quite fun to do. So that's how far I've got with this board. The next stage now is to do the wiring. I'm going to be putting in the main track buses and then the feeders and then the switch machines after that, and then testing it all, then putting it back in place on the brackets. I'll show you where that is there. So that is where this board fits. It fits over here. There's the end of the helix. And now I can start doing a bit of test operations from the staging yard down here up to this beginning of this yard over here. So that is my next stage. So now I can continue with the build of my module. The next stage is now going to be the bus wiring and the feeders or the droppers from the track to that bus wire. I'm also going to be adding the Loconet cable and also my tortoise switch machines and possibly some servo motors as well, depending on how much space I've got. I think I've got a couple of locations where it's going to be a bit tight for the tortoise motors, so I'm going to be possibly using the servos for that. And I think I've got some spare accessory decoders for the switches. I'm just going to double check that, but I'll be wiring those up as well. So hopefully in my next episode I'll be able to show you that actually working. So the plan is to put it back up on the brackets behind me, connect it back up to the helix, and then run a train from staging yard at the bottom all the way up the helix up to that east end of the yard. And it's going to be great actually seeing a train go all the way onto that first board. So that will hopefully be coming up in my next episode, depending on how I get on over the next couple of weeks. So to be sure you don't miss that episode, click on the subscribe button down below and click on that little bell icon to be notified when that episode is live. As I'm recording this on the weekend before Christmas, obviously I wish you all a happy Christmas or happy holidays or whatever you call it in your part. Hope you have a great holiday with your families. Happy railroading, and see you all in 2022.